up, everybody? I had to fix some audio settings. That's why there was a bit of a delay when I was talking just now. I wanted to release a video, sort of talking about some things I see online. Okay, everybody knows that I'm pretty much a Android and Windows fanboy. What I wanted to talk about was this whole Apple versus PC debate. And by PC, I'm including, like when you talk about Android and all that stuff, I'm including them. I'm currently recording this from a Chromebook. Now, I do happen to have two Apple computers, and I have an iPod. I have used Mac OS before, and I got these two computers with the idea that, because the first one I got was an iBook, and I was like, you know, it's not really fair to talk about an iBook that's like 11 years old versus modern PCs. Now, I bought a MacBook White a couple of months ago. Now, it's a 2007 model. It's a little bit more up to date than the iBook, but still not fair to make it. Like, it's still not fair to make a complete comparison between them and some of my newer PCs or my Chromebook. This Chromebook actually just came out like maybe a year ago, so this is probably the newest device I have. I don't buy anything retail. I like to work on computers, so I buy them in pawn shops, eBay, Amazon, stuff like that. And I know that buying them used isn't exactly like getting it new. I know you run the risk of getting, programs that are fault or like hardware faulty and stuff like that. And other users didn't know how to use them. So I go in and I tweak them and I fix them and then I use them. Now, to say that to go in and just be like, okay, well, I have new computers versus the old Apple products would be unfair. But I have used MacBook Pros up to, I think the last one that I used was a 2012. Now that's pretty fair. I tested out with some gaming on it and stuff. Now each platform has its own advantages and disadvantages. Overall, you're going to see that I'm a PC guy, I'm a Windows guy, I'm an Android guy. They're cheaper, but that's not why I'm with them. Dude, I'm cheap. Well, I just said I'm cheap. Well, I get them because they're cheaper and because they do the exact same things. I realize when you're getting into things like Final Cut Pro and Windows Movie Maker, or like iMovie, stuff like that, there's going to be some differences. As far as media goes, I mean, if you're if you're into like professional video making and stuff like that, you're probably going to need an Apple product. You're probably going to need a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air or something. I, however, am not. I do video editing, but I don't do like any high-tech video editing. I don't really make a living off of it. So for the everyday consumer, I think that PCs and Androids are the best way to go. The reason why is on a basic level, that's just the better platforms. Those are better platforms to be on. Why do I say that? Price, compatibility, and just the different things you can do with them. There are certain things that Macs are better at, or any Apple product is better at on some things. As far as we go iPods, I really don't think that makes a difference between an iPod and an MP3 player. Zoom is a different story. Zoom is bad. I'll give you guys that. But for the common person, anything you do, a PC will smoke the hell out of a MacBook. Any day, any time. You want to run games, like my PC will totally destroy the best MacBook that you have. and I have a lower-end PC. Well, some of them are lower-end, some of them are mid-range, a couple of them are higher-end. They'll smoke the hell out of you in gaming. You don't talk about if you're buying a computer for Facebooking or for just the everyday things. You're better off going with a PC because you're going to spend with a MacBook or with an Apple product. All you're really doing is spending, 2 or 3 times the money for the same experience you're going to get. I find a lot of times when I talk to Apple fanboys, they don't really know much about computers. They don't really know. They're depending on what Apple wants them to know or what Apple says is best for them. With my with my PCs, something goes wrong, I can open them up and I can do my work too. Now you can do that with Apples too, but it's much harder. I actually have 2 other friends, Darren and Aaron. Aaron with an A is a Linux guy. So if you have anything wrong with Linux, you go to him. Darren is an Apple fanboy, but he actually knows about computers. He can open up Macs and he can fix them and he can do all that stuff. And when it's an Apple thing, I recommend people go to him. However, something like 83% of the market share is still Windows. Okay. Ironically, so whenever they have anybody with Windows problems, they can come to me. Now, ironically, I was watching something about Apple. I was watching, because I do like them, like I said, I have 2 of them. I probably will never get another one after these 2 break, but I have 2 of them. And it is what it is, you know what I mean? What I will say is this. I was watching a video from Apple that Steve Jobs was in, and he was talking about Steve Ballmer, the CEO of Microsoft. And basically he was like, well, the reason why Apple is such a great company, obviously, is because we make the hardware and the software. Well, that's not true. Foxconn makes your software. No, not Foxconn. Foxconn makes some of your hardware. Samsung makes the other hardware. So Apple actually doesn't produce any of their own hardware. It's all made by Foxconn and Samsung. And he said because it's basically all in one. Well, I like when you have updates and stuff, it's easier to send them out across the board to different iOS's and Mac OS 10 and all them. Well, that's great, yeah. When you have those upgrades, it is, more fluid when you have a Mac or any Apple product. But that doesn't mean that it's better. Now, PC kind of relies on, the PC platform kind of relies on people knowing what to do. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel, or if obviously you're on it because you're watching this, David Chu is one of my friends, or David Sarche. Both of his channels are on my YouTube. I have 2 channels too. It's JO3, JO3221, and this one, which I'm going to put this video on both of them. There's a problem here. They kind of depend on you to know what you're doing. Now, anytime you buy a car or a firearm or anything, like a computer or anything, you should have the slightest clue of what to do in case something goes wrong. It shouldn't always be, well, we have to send this back or take this to a repair shop. Like, you should be able to do the basic things to keep it operating. With Apples, you don't have to do that. It leaves the responsibility up to Apple to fix them. The problem is, let's just say when an Apple Apple computer you want to upgrade the RAM. Well, that's going to cost you like $100. With me, all I really do is go on Amazon or eBay or anywhere you want to go to get RAM for your computer, and I plug it in, or I unplug the, unscrew the cords. Wow, I'm tired. I unscrew the screws, and I pop it right in. You want to replace your hard drive? Well, that's going to cost you like $150 to $200 with Apple. I literally unscrew the screws, and right next to my RAM is my hard drive, and I replace the hard drive, and I pay. I mean, I can't charge myself labor. I pay parts. You pay parts and labor, and there's almost no way, unless you're really, really good at it, to fix a Mac without sending it to Apple. That's another thing. Microsoft doesn't have, or Windows, yeah, it is Microsoft. With Android and Windows and stuff, you can take it to any repair shop, and you can just be like, hey, fix this for me. I haven't had to do that, but you can. Apple, you can only take it to Apple people. Those Apple people are going to charge you a lot of money to fix it. Whereas you can go to a repair shop and be like, hey, can you fix this for me? And you're going to have to pay labor, but maybe as much as if Microsoft said, or if any of the people, like the companies that make PCs, like if HP had a repair office. If HP had a repair office, you'd be paying more than if you took it to a regular repair shop. So there are some, like there are some trade-offs. But I think for the common consumer, I think PC is a better way to go. It's cheaper, and you can learn how to fix your own stuff. And they can do just as much. Except for when it comes to media stuff, I think Apples tend to be a little bit better there. But it's the one place they tend to be better at. And with PCs, in case you haven't noticed, all the Ultrabooks that are coming out or anything like that, like they're quickly catching up to Apple. Real quick. If Apple doesn't do something to change how they are, you're going to wonder. Planned obsolescence is not the way to go when you're running a business. Peace. Submarine comment below. Later. Deuces.